Alright, let's dive into the story of the Yuba County 5. Grab a drink, settle in, because this one's a wild ride, equal parts tragic, bizarre, and frustratingly unsolved. Picture chilly Northern California, late February 1978. Five guys: Gary Mathias, Jack Madruga, Jackie Hoot, Ted Wire, and Bill Sterling set out from Yuba City to watch a college basketball game in Chico. These weren't typical guys. They all had mild intellectual disabilities or mental health conditions, and for each other, they were family close-knit, always rolling together. After their team lost, the group hopped into Jack's Mercury Montego and hit the road. Their families expected them home by midnight so they could rest up for their own basketball tournament the next morning. Instead, they vanished entirely. For days after they disappeared, the Mercury Montego was found deep in Plumas National Forest, way off their expected route. The car was fine, not out of gas, no mechanical problems, it was just stuck in light snow. Weirdly, the five could have pushed it out if they'd tried, but instead, it was left there, empty. The keys were gone, windows rolled down, cans of food and wrappers on the floor. At first, nothing else turned up. Their families were beside themselves, searching highways and back roads, begging for any clue. Search parties combed the forest, but kept running into snowstorms that almost killed a few rescue workers. It was like the guys had just walked off the face of the earth. For months later, June 4th, a group of motorcyclists discovered the remains of Ted Wire in a Forest Service trailer 20 miles from the abandoned car. Ted had tried to stay alive. He wrapped himself in sheets and used whatever he could to keep warm, but he had starved to death surrounded by canned food, most of it untouched, probably because he couldn't figure out how to open it without a can opener. Gary Mathias's shoes were there too, but Gary himself was nowhere to be found. Nearby, bits of Jackie Hoot, Jack Madruga, and Bill Sterling were found, bones scattered by animals. All appeared to have died of exposure. The last person seen alive, possibly, was Gary, but no trace of him has ever been found, not even after all these years. The whole situation only gets stranger when you dig into the timeline. Why did five grown men, used to rough weather and the outdoors, abandon their car instead of waiting for help or simply walking back to the main road? Why did they go so far off course after the game? Were they chased, scared, or just confused? There is a single witness, a local guy named Joseph Shones, who said he saw headlights and people walking around near his own broken-down car the same night. But his story has changed a lot over time. Joseph had a heart attack that night and thought he saw a man and a woman with flashlights, but when he yelled for help, they went silent and turned off their lights. Some think he saw the Yuba 5, others aren't sure. His reputation for storytelling and drinking doesn't help. People have theories. Maybe they were running from someone or something. Maybe they got lost, panicked, and wandered into the woods looking for help. There are even suspicions of foul play. Family members have wondered if some hometown troublemaker could have hurt them, especially since Gary battled schizophrenia and had run-ins with some rough people. But without concrete evidence, it's all speculation. What really eats at folks is how Ted survived in the trailer for possibly months, with food and heat within reach. Why didn't he use it? Why was Gary stuffed there, but not Gary himself? Did Gary take off looking for rescue, or was something else at play? Decades later, the fate of Gary Mathias is the real puzzle. He was never found, just his shoes, some scattered belongings, and legends about where he might have gone. Maybe he made it out, maybe not. Nearly 50 years since that cold California night, families still wonder, what really happened up there in Plumas National Forest? Did fear drive them? Was someone following them? Or was it just fate, a cruel twist leading good guys into the deep woods, never to come back? People call it America's Dyatlov Pass, and honestly, it fits. A vanished group, a car left for no clear reason, possible survival for months in brutal winter cold, and a mystery that refuses to die. And that's the story of the Yuba County 5. There are facts, there's heartbreak, and there's a whole lot of what the hell happened. If you ever find yourself driving the mountain roads out there, Maybe you'll think about their story and hope that someday somebody puts the pieces together. Until then, it's one of California's biggest unsolved mysteries.